Number 13 is Madame Corvoya. Madame Corvoya is one of the most important ghosts in Luigi's mansion, and you encounter her multiple times. She's the fortune teller, and she uses her spiritual powers to see 49 days into the future. But that's not what she does in the game. Instead, what she'll do is she'll take possessions of Mario, such as Mario's cap or his glove, that Luigi finds throughout the mansion, to figure out clues to where Mario might be. Eventually, she deciphers that Bowser and King Boo are somewhere in the mansion, so you're gonna have to worry about them. But after that, after you get all the items from Mario, Madame Clairvoyant doesn't want any more from you, and so she asks to help you on your quest by having you suck her up with the poltergust. She doesn't struggle to get away. So the fight itself isn't interesting, but her personality and the backstory definitely makes up for it. And overall, it's clear why so many people like Madame Clairvoyant. She's very interesting. Number 12 is Jarvis. Jarvis is one of the few ghosts in the game that isn't a human. In fact, I'm not really sure what he is. I think he might be one of those pink Toombas from Mario Galaxy. Anyways, Jarvis likes jars. So much, in fact, that he'll hide him in a bunch of them, and he'll force you to spray him with ice 7 times in a little minigame of his before you can suck him up. Yeah, he's not very challenging, and he's not a human, so he might not seem interesting, but the fact that this dude is named Jarvis and hides in all these different jars, and he isn't a human, that makes him interesting to me, and I have a bit of a soft spot for Jarvis for that very reason. Number 11 is Slim Bankshot. I also have a soft spot for Slim Bankshot, and the reason is he's a pool shark and he likes to play pool. I like to play pool myself, and what Slim Bankshot will do is he'll shoot these pool balls, and you gotta fire them back at him. He doesn't really do anything to attack you, but he is an optional boss, and that does make him pretty interesting, whether you can choose to fight him or not. And along with that, the fact that he's playing pool, and I really like his design, I think that's pretty cool, and the name Slim Bankshot is pretty cool as well. He's interesting. Number 10 is Boomwassus. Starting our top 10 is Boomwassus. He's been in all Luigi's Mansion games, and although this is my least favorite appearance, I still think it's a really cool idea that all the Boos of the mansion, well, they all form together to become Boomwassus. What he will do is bounce around, so you gotta get him to pop on this unicorn, because you're on the balcony of the mansion. And what he'll do here is he'll pop into a bunch of different Boos, which all make him up, and you'll need to suck all of them up with the ice. That last Boo can be really annoying, but for the most part the boss is pretty easy. Now, because he's an area boss, he's a bit more unique and different than usual, which is why I put him in the top 10. He's pretty interesting. Although, like I said, getting the last Boo can be pretty annoying. And I always found it strange while there are unicorn statues on this mansion of all things, since it is meant to be creepy. Anyways, number 9 is Biff Atlas. Biff Atlas is a super buff bodybuilder, and something interesting about him is that he likes lilies. Why? Because they represent purity. That's kinda nice, actually. Anyways, Biff Atlas is optional, but what you need to do is hit him with the punching bag, and Luigi will punch it, and it'll aggravate him, and then you can suck him up. There's not much more to the fight than that, but I do think that's pretty cool and pretty interesting. That does make for a unique fight, especially when you consider that he's optional. And that thing about him liking the lilies is kind of cute in a way. Number 8 is Melody Pianissima. Now, Melody Pianissima kind of reminds me of Amadeus Wolfgeist from Luigi's Mansion 3. Not just because they both love to play the piano, but they will get very upset at you. Anyways, you need to play all the instruments in the conservatory to get Melody Pianissima to appear. She'll play an iconic tune, and she'll ask you what it will be. It will either be the Mario 3 athletic theme or the Mario Bros. Underwater theme. If you guess it right, she will send out these music sheets for you to suck up, and then you can suck up her. It's pretty interesting, but if you get it wrong, she'll get really upset at you, and you're gonna have to do it again. Overall, it's very interesting, and that Easter egg of playing that classic tune from either Super Mario Bros. Or Mario 3 definitely elevates her up high, and it's one of the reasons why I put her in the top 10. Number 7 is Mr. Luggs. Now, Mr. Luggs loves to eat, and that's pretty apparent. And he doesn't like it when people see him eat. And whatever it is, seems to be spaghetti with Parmesan he's eating, he doesn't want you to see it. But when you light the candles with the fire element metal, he'll appear. You'll need to suck up his food, but also defeat the waiters who deliver him more food. That way, he doesn't get more, and he can keep eating. He'll get really upset at you and start spitting out what I can only believe to be heartburn, but it is fire, seriously. He is pretty interesting, and after a while, he'll get tired, and then you'll have to suck him up. It may not seem that interesting, but there are multiple parts of this fight. Unlike some of the other portrait ghosts in the game, he requires more than one puzzle to solve, which does make him pretty cool, and again, he's optional. So you can either suck him up, or you can just let him eat. Number 6 is Henry Norville. Henry Norville is another ghost in the game where you're going to have to fight 2 of them. And what they'll do is they'll want to play a game of hide and seek with you. So you exit the room, re-enter it, and you got to find the right boxes. One way you can do this is use the poltergeist on the different boxes, and if it shivers, that's how you know that the twins are hiding in it. So Henry and Norville will start driving around in a car or in a plane, and it'll drop bombs on you. What's interesting about this fight is you're going to have to deal with 2 of them at once, and the fact that Henry and Norville are the creators, are the names of the people who invented the planes and the automobiles. Not only is that an interesting fact, but it also makes Henry and Norville stand out as some really unique bosses. And they're also the children of Neville and Lydia, fun fact. So yeah, I like these 2, because they have an interesting fight, and I do like that puzzle beforehand. Number 5 are the Clockwork Soldiers. These 3 Clockwork Soldiers were created by a toy collector, and what they do is you're going to need to start knocking on all the different toys for them to appear. And what you need to do is spin on all their gears, like the wind-up things, and that's when you can start attacking them. I really like how these guys remind me of the nutcrackers you see everywhere around Christmas time. And the fact that they do have unique designs. They're not human per se, but they do look human, which makes them pretty interesting. But they move like a toy. Overall, that reason alone is what puts them so high, because they're so interesting. Number 4 is Van Gore. Van Gore is another one of the ghosts who, like Madame Clairvoyant, is important to the game, because he's the one who makes all the common ghosts. He'll have you fight all of them at once, and because you apparently don't appreciate his art, he'll have them all chase you. After that, you just suck them up. But although this fight isn't very interesting if you're not into enemy gauntlets, I don't really mind them. And it's actually really cool that he was the one who made all these common ghosts in the game. It's pretty interesting how he made them from paintings, because just like in Mario 64, these paintings can come to life. Number 3 is Sir Weston. You'll encounter Sir Weston as one of the last portrait ghosts in the game, and he'll be covered in ice in the basement, in the ice room. And what you'll need to do is light him on fire. What a surprise. And he'll start shooting out icicles at you. There'll be icicles from the ceiling, and on top of all that, the floor is slippery, so defeating him will be very tricky. He seems to be someone who's like hiking, like he's about to hike Mount Everest or something, because he's wearing a snowsuit, he hates what's warm, and he prefers the cold, and he even has a traveler's backpack. These reasons alone make him pretty interesting, and the fact that there are multiple things to avoid makes Sir Weston pretty unique in that regard, and challenging as well. Number 2 is Chauncey. Chauncey might just be the most iconic portrait ghost in this game. He's the first area boss, but he's also one of the best ones. What Chauncey will do is, first you gotta hit him with the ball, which is pretty rude since he's a baby. And by the way, he was born a baby. That's pretty dark, Nintendo. Anyways, he'll turn you tiny and put you in his crib, and he'll be furious at you. He'll start sounding out rocking carriages at you, the rocking horses, and then the bouncing balls, which you have to shoot at him, and then you can suck him up. I also like that Chauncey's giant when you fight him, because you're tiny and in this crib. Not only is this fight interesting, but it's also an important one. And it's one of the first ones you fight in a game, that's true, so it won't be too hard. But it's harder than actually a lot of these other ones in the game. And I think Chauncey's a really interesting character, and I'd love to see him return. Number 1 is none other than King Boo. King Boo himself. What he will do is possess Bowser, and he'll make Bowser's head spin around, he'll pop out, and you'll have to shoot spike balls into Bowser's mouth, which he throws at you, which, fun fact, spike balls have been in every King Boo fight. And anyways, you gotta throw these into his mouth, and Bowser's head will pop off, and King Boo will pop out, which is pretty creepy. A bunch of fire will be around the mansion, and you're fighting on the rooftop of all places. You'll have to suck him up, and although King Boo himself might be a bit underwhelming, he does have 500 health, which is by far more than any other ghost in the entire game, portrait ghost or not. So overall, yeah. That's King Boo for you. And those are all the portrait ghosts in the game. Like I said, the original Luigi's Mansion might be my least favorite of the trilogy, but I can still see why so many people love it and consider it one of their favorite games. And these portrait ghosts can be very interesting. Thank you for watching. And although it's not Halloween, have a spooktacular day.